Hey, what's up guys? Kris Krohn here, and I'm coming at you YouTube Live today. And today we are going to be talking specifically about how to invest at every stage of your life. The reason why I'm doing this is because I've got 13 to 18-year-olds that are asking me for advice like, Kris, what should I be doing right now? I've got 18 to 30-year-olds that should be doing something different, 30 to 50-year-olds that should be doing something different, 50 to 65 and 65 plus. So today I decided I'm going to go live and I'm going to be sharing with you how you should be investing. First of all, I just want to thank you guys for all the well-wishing. I was in the hospital a few days ago, believe it or not, with a really weird, I lifted a little too much weight at the gym, I threw out my back, and I threw a rib out, and I literally was just paralyzed. I couldn't move my upper body. So obviously I'm better. I just want to thank all of you guys for a lot of the well-wishing and comments out there. We obviously delayed last week's webinar. We got about 3,000 people registered for noon today as we talk about what you can do in the next 30 days to build a massive active income. So I'm going to start with just a couple of things here. And what I want to do today is I want you to save my phone number in your phone. You can reach me at 385-217-3477. And today, if you want to connect with me, sometimes I'm going to have you use the YouTube chat, but otherwise I'm going to actually have you text me directly questions. And I'm going to I've got my team here that Denise here is holding my cell phone. She's going to be, some of you are just going to be like, hey, Kris, what's up? Hi to you. By the way, as you guys just start saying, text me right now and saying what's up, we're going to do a couple of shout outs. But really, Denise is going to basically filter through and look for questions that you might have relevant to today's conversation. By the way, you can text me on anything that you want, and my goal is by the end of today, it might be a little stretched, today's a busy one, but my goal is by the end of today to get back in touch with you and get that dialogue going. Since I started handing out my cell phone, it's allowed me to connect with a whole lot more of you. And I've really enjoyed it. I've loved the connection that we get to share with each other. So you got my phone, let's get intimate, let's connect. And this phone number for me is all about helping you take your financial life to the next level. So let's just do some shout outs here. Do we have anyone who's joining right now?
Carson Smith.
Carson Smith? Carson Smith, what's up, dude? Thank you so much for joining today. Glad to have you here. Who else do we have?
Joseph Crespo.
Joseph, what's up? Joseph, glad to have you here.
Zaki Talib.
Zaki Talib. Zaki, what's up, brother? Glad to have you here as well. Thank you. And to the many others that are joining us as well. Now, before I start jamming on how to invest at every stage of life, it's all about a game plan. Everyone's got to have a game plan. And I do want to give you a sneak peek about what is going to be happening. Check this out. At noon today, Mountain Time, so that's in like 2.5 hours, I'm doing an online masterclass on a topic I never have before. You guys know me for real estate, but you should know me for business. And 3 weeks ago to this day, one of my buddies that knows me through YouTube, Trent Levitt, he got in touch with me and he said, Kris, I found out today that I might not have a job in 90 days. And I love our real estate investing, but dude, that's passive income. And it's growing like this. And in the long haul, it's going to be brilliant. But I have not a long haul problem, I have a short haul problem. How do I make money now? And you know what I did is I took him under my wing and I said, you know what? I bet in 30 days I can help you make $8,000. And if you can, that means that you're on track for making $100 grand a year. And so he took me up on it. We're just 3 weeks into the experiment, and I'm going to be revealing on this live training exactly to the penny how much money Trent has made. And I'm just going to tell you right now, the number is shocking because Trent's just a guy from YouTube, right? Like he's just an average person that is making average income that wants more from life, just like you do. So what I'm going to be doing for the first time ever is I'm doing a masterclass not on real estate. I'm doing it on business, and I'm saying, are you kidding me? Do not use COVID-19 as your excuse for why you're not killing it in business right now, why you're not hustling and really commanding your own financial future. So if you want to join that, we've got about 3,000 people registered for it. And you can, if you go to kriskrohn.com/masterclass, that is how you register to be there with me in 2.5 hours. It is going to be hot to trot, my friends. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be awesome. So I'm excited to really break down and say, what are the 5 things that you can do right now during COVID-19 to make an extra 6 figures with a side hustle? All right, there you go. So, listen, I'm about to preach, I'm about to teach, and as I do, I want you to text me at this phone number right here, 385-217-3477, questions that you have, and then Denise will be checking my phone call and basically doing shout-outs from me to you, answering relevant questions. So, how to invest in every stage of your life. Like how do you invest if you're 13 to 18, if you're 18 to 30, 30 to 50, 50 to 65, 65 plus. The strategy is different at every stage of your life, and I'm going to break down for you what that looks like. I do want to start though with my young ones, right? Carson, what were you calling them? My teeny weenies? My mini me's? Like, what would you do? What do you do when you're 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 and saying, all right, now is probably not the time to be exactly buying a home, but what can I do? And I'm going to break it down for you. Number one, 13, 15, 18, if you're watching my channel, that means that you have a financial interest in producing your own financial future. So here's what you should be doing. Number one, you should have a side hustle. You should be finding ways to make money because literally you can rely on the government, you can rely on a boss, you can rely on other people, or you can rely on yourself. I believe that true financial self-sufficiency comes when you develop the ability on the side to take care of yourself. So when you're 13, 18 years old, you should have a goal of saving $10,000. Now I know that may sound like a lot of money, but if you're consistently hustling a little here and a little here, over the years this actually adds up. Why $10,000? Because when I got into the game of real estate, I made my first $1.6 million with $5,000. I turned that into $1.6 million. So for you to just work a side hustle, you're going to learn work ethic, you're going to learn smart money, you're going to learn stupid money. You might flip burgers and be like, wow, that's what minimum wage feels like. That's what working for somebody else feels like. So that's not the only thing that you should do, but I want you to be thinking, how can I make smart money? Like, dude, when I was 15 years old, I was a paper boy, back when they had those, right? Like on the back, like I was on a bike, and I had like this sack on both sides, and I was carrying 70 papers, tossing them at doors and putting them in the mailboxes, and I was making about $400 a month doing that. It took me an hour a day, 90 minutes sometimes. So get a side hustle. But number two, the most important thing you should be doing between 13 and 18 is you have got to get smart on money. And what I mean by that is that you should be reading books. If you have a chance to have your parents or a friend come out and take you out to one of my events, books and events, these things are cheap. But what they do is they start sending you in the right direction. I've written 5 books. And if you guys can, Carson, will you drop in the YouTube link, like my library on how they can get all of my books, all of my audio books, all of my PDFs at like a stupid small price? He's going to drop you a link. I'm going to give you my library. My library is everything that I think that you should do to learn money, wealth, finance, real estate, and the mindset of it all. I get excited. So that's what you want to do 13 to 18 years old. Now, by the way, once you're 17, 18 years old, you start entering into a new bracket. So I'm going to give that to you. But bottom line is get smart, read books, events. What kind of books that you should be reading? I believe that you should be reading read books on business, real estate, wealth, money, and then do something most are not. Mindset. There's so many good mindset books out there. I'm going to tell you why. Making millions of dollars is first about creating permission and a plan in your head that makes it possible for you. It's not just what you know, it's how you feel about what you know. And that's why people will actually come out to my events and they'll read my books. My YouTube videos are good, but friends, you're dropping like one piece of knowledge in like a 10-minute video. It's good, but books go a lot deeper. If you say, but Kris, I don't like reading. Most of my books are an audiobook, so just listen to the book. Or you can just get it on Kindle or however, I'm going to give it to you in every format that you like to observe it in. So that's the first thing. Now, by the way, I'm going to move on to this one, but Denise, Kris, if we find anyone that says, hey, I'm 13 to 18 years old and I got a question about this advice, I'm coming back your way. So right now, if you fall in that category, go ahead and ask your question and we'll go ahead and get you hooked up. Just snap your fingers at me when you're ready. All right, let's talk about what happens when you are the big 18. You become the big man of the house. You become the woman that says it's time for me to like flap my wings and fly. What you should be doing in this stage is number one, you should be buying your first home. Why? The best investment to date, the biggest investment, the most successful investment you will make in the next 40 years, statistically, is buying a home. Why? Because for the last 80 years, homes grow an average of 4.5% plus a year. That doesn't sound like a lot, but if you buy a home 5 years later, the value has gone up 25%. Check this out. If I buy a home, and let's say I buy something really entry level, let's say I buy something for $180,000. If that home goes up 10% in value, I've added 18 grand to my net worth. If it goes up 20% in value, I have added $36,000 to my net worth. You should do that in 4 years. In 4 years, that 36 grand will be the easiest money you've ever made in your life, and it was by virtue of having a home. Now, by the way, if you buy the home and you can just rent it to somebody else or use my lease option methodology, you don't even have to make the payment. So you could literally like buy a home, and this is what I want you to think about. I want you to buy 2 or 3 homes. I want you to move 2 or 3 times in the first decade. Now that sounds kind of transient, right? Like literally I am moving from like one home to the next. Why would I do that? If you live in that home for 2 years and then move into the next one, you don't have to pay capital gains on that home when you sell it. So you hold that home, you move it, and a primary residence, you can get into it with a 3.5% down payment. That is, on $180,000, you're talking like $6,000 to $7,000. Guess what? When you were 13 to 18, you saved your first 10 grand. Look at what you have now. You got money for down payment. That house over 4 years makes you 36 grand plus cash flow. Let's assume that it's 50 grand for 4 years with cash flow and tax benefits. If you buy 3 homes over 10 years, that's $150,000. By the time you're mid-20s, you have $150,000 in equity. You can sell those homes and buy a ton more. Like, does that make sense? Now, you should also be doing the Get Smarter, reading books, events, and things like that to launch you into the investment category. All right, we got our first question today. For those of you that are texting me right here at this phone number, this one comes from Jonah. What's up, Jonah, dude? Glad to have you right here live with me. 13 to 18 years old. I'm ready. What are some of the ways to make money at that age? I'm 15. What are examples of side hustles? Okay, dude, for you, this is big. Some of the advice I'm going to give you might piss off your parents a little bit. I mean them no disrespect. Because a lot of times parents will say, hey, dude, you should be just focusing on junior high and high school and like, you know, just preparing for college with good grades. Personally, when it comes to college, 80% of you will leave college not using your degree. That sounds to me like a major waste of money. Not a waste of knowledge, but definitely a waste of money. Like going into big debt, like right now, most Gen Z, you know what 94% of them want? Entrepreneurship. They want freedom. They want to be in charge of their own life. They're starting to rebel against society's game plan that has been broken for more than 1 decade. So your question is, what are examples of side hustles? Jonah, if you are not registered at noon, by the way, let's be honest, it's not like you're in school anyway, right? You got flexibility. I want you to get live with me, kriskrohn.com/masterclass. I'm going to be sharing with you 3 side hustles. My buddy has used 3 side hustles, and his goal in 30 days was to make 8 grand. I'm not going to spoil it how much money he actually made, but I'm just going to tell you that he's an average guy from YouTube and he killed it. And so I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what the best side hustles are that are out there right now. So great question. Good job, Jonah. By the way, Denise, will you do me a favor? Dude, Jonah spoke up. He was on point. It was a good question. He's 15. I want to give him 2 free tickets to my next event. That's $3,000 of good job for speaking up and taking action, brother. Next time we can meet when this Corona crap is over. My next event is scheduled for August. Then or whenever it's going to be, we'll get live with each other, see if your parents will take you out and get some awesome training. I promise you it'll be the best 4 days of training, way better than what school will give you. Okay, this one comes from Bernard Johnson. What's up, Bernard? Bernard says, how do you make your contracts? Where do you go to do them? And does it cost anything? I'm 18 years old, I'm going into the military this summer, and I will start my real estate journey in about 3 years. Well, first of all, Bernard, if you're going into the military, you're probably going to get a check up front, a signing bonus, or when you get back, you're going to be getting some kind of check. And so, by the way, I can't tell you how many business partners I have that are in the military. It's many. Military and real estate really do seem to go hand in hand. The military, first of all, thank you for choosing to serve. There's compensation coming your way. Meanwhile, they're paying for all of your living expenses. So, dude, it's a great gig. It's a great way for you to actually get money put in the bank and wonder, what do I do with it? Whether now or in the next 3 years, what you should be focusing on is now being in this phase, which is getting your first home. Now, whether you're going to get 15 grand, 25 grand, 40 grand, I know it's different depending on the program. Remember that your first home needs $6,000 to $7,000. So what you should do is, at the earliest possible moment, you should get qualified and buy a home. You're also going to be equipped with VA status. It's possible for you to get a home in the next year. So by the way, if they send you somewhere and say, hey, for the next 3 years, we want this possibility that you're getting paid a small amount, and then when they say, but Kris, I'm going to move again in 3 years. And so you should be saying, Kris, what are those contracts? One day, but after buying it, I want to be able to support myself and I want different incomes. So super good question here, Alex. I appreciate that. So listen, you got $15,000 in the bank. You're in a really good market for buying homes and renting them out. I love that about Texas. And you know what? Homes are cheap. You can find homes that are not for $180,000. You can find them for under $150,000 depending on where you live. So for you, there's 2 things that you want to be thinking about. The first one is, yes, use that money to get a home right now. Now, you might not have developed credit, so you might have to wait 2 years. But let me give you a shortcut. You want to focus on, I mentioned this word lease option. There is a way for you to focus on buying homes. Come here. There's a way for you to buy homes that people already own. For example, landlords that are saying, hey, I'm just trying to find a renter. And you come in, and I'll give you a system that says, don't be a renter. What you actually want is to actually negotiate with them to be the bank and let you take over the home and you sublet it out to someone else. My lease option system makes 2 times as much money as rentals, sometimes 2.5 and 3 times. So it's super lucrative. What I want you to do is text me a reminder. I want you to text your cell phone and email and say, Kris, I want to learn about lease options. And later today, I will get you in touch with somebody that can really break down how you do that. I want all of you to hear this. Do not wait for your credit to determine whether you can buy real estate. Do not wait for your bank account to determine whether you can buy real estate. And do not wait for a bank to tell you that you can buy real estate. I have a workaround every single time. You've done the smart thing, 20 years old, you've front-loaded 15 grand in the bank. Dude, you should be buying real estate right now. And if you don't know how to do that, I can show you how to do that. Just text me your phone number, text me your email address and say, Kris, I want to learn your lease option system. I want to learn how to buy real estate without money. You should right now, 20 years old, you should own at least 1 home, if not 2 or 3. I've got young people in their early 20s that have a dozen homes or more in my program, and you can have that too. So let's jam about that. All right, we got another question right here from Julia Rodriguez. Julia, how are you doing, girl? Thank you. She says, glad you're doing better. Kris, where can I get a ticket to one of your events? I would love to attend. Emoji, starry eyes, starry eyes, starry eyes. Julia, we should totally 100% connect and get in touch. Right now, we're planning all out for August, right here in my convention center, here just south of Salt Lake City. And I will have my team. Will you do me a favor and just drop my link right there? Listen, Julia, just drop your phone number and drop your email address and just make a note that says, Kris, I want to come to your next event. I will have someone from my team contact you and help you do that. By the way, Julia, I don't know how old you are, but whatever age group you fall into, you guys need to get this mindset training and this wealth training. My 40 events, they're all about a game plan of how do you make millions of dollars. And a lot of it is how do you develop the mindset to do that? Because the reason why I've been able to make so much money so fast at such a young age is because my mentors didn't just give me a real estate wealth strategy. I also learned how to change my thinking to allow money to come in. Most of us block money. Most of us are scared of success. It sounds weird, but most of us, our upbringing and training is for scarcity. And even though we always have goals every year that say, I want more, we're scared to produce that. And we don't understand why. It's blind to us. So in my event, what I do is I literally unlock your brain by showing you the top 50 worst beliefs that you likely have about money, and we fix them. And when you change that neural programming, all of a sudden your mind says, I'm ready to receive, let's go. And that's why my students are doing so well. So people that come to my event do have a high likelihood of crushing in real estate. All right, we're going to keep getting some questions from you, but let me talk to you. What do you do in your 30s and 50s? Well, already in your 20s and 30s, you're probably starting to learn about things like 401ks, IRAs, equity, and things like that. 401ks, IRAs, and basically you have a goal generally of paying off your home. Pay home off. These are, in my opinion, the wrong thing to do. You should not do society's game plan. And I'm going to just tell you why. Come over here. If you put money in a 401k, you're going to average somewhere around 6%. If you're going to put money in an IRA, this looks like it's a different thing. It's just the stock market. It's a different type of mutual fund. It's going to pay you 6%. You could put money in stocks, and after fees and everything, you're going to average 7%. Even if you put money into paying off your home, you got 4.5%. Now, the problem isn't that these are bad. The problem is that all of them start with a single-digit ROI. This is a single digit, meaning it's not more than a double digit. Double digit starts at 10%, right? There's 2 digits, 1 and a 0. 20% is double digits, it's a 2 and a 0. 50% is a double digit, it's a 5 and a 0. You have to get out of single digits. If everything you're earning is single digit, what it means ultimately is that your money will double every 12 years. If you work for 36 years, your money can only double 3 times. And you know what? A lifetime of working for doubling your money 3 times sucks. It's just not enough money. But you won't realize it until your 40s or 50s. That's one of my big things is saying, get smart. Don't do these things. Everyone's saying to do them, everyone says it's smart, and everyone fails. It's what everyone shares in common. It's retarded. Don't do that. All right, so instead of putting money in these things, you should keep the money, and you should start putting it into real estate in a different way that I'm about to tell you about. But first, we've got a question here from Steven. Hey, yeah. Sorry, buddy, I butchered it. Steven, what's up, dude? I see we have texted before. I sent you a video. This one says, hey, Kris Krohn, this is Steven P. How does partnering with you work? If I invest $50K with you, how do we split the profits from the down payment, appreciation, cash flow? Okay, Steven, I'm glad you brought that up. That was good timing. Let's talk about this. Right now, I am 40 years old, and last year, I bought over 100 homes. So I'm in this group right here. If you're between 30 and 50, you've likely started putting money away into 401ks, IRAs, paying off your home. The problem is you can't, none of these things pay you anything. None of these things deposit money in your account. We need to convert your assets into cash flow producing assets like Steven is asking about. So one of the things that you can do at this range is you've got to start accelerating your real estate buying. And what that looks like, there are several ways of doing it. You need to build a portfolio. Now, Steven's asking, Kris, what's it look like to build a portfolio with you? I'll explain that. But first of all, here's what a portfolio means. The first 5 homes that I bought, if these 5 homes are producing, let's call it a $500 a month cash flow, you're getting $2,500 a month. Do you know what that means? That's $2,500 less you need from a job, and that's how much closer you are to financial freedom. Like, let's say your expenses are, let's just say your expenses are $5,000 a month. If your expenses are $5,000 a month, then once you get this number of $2,500 to $5,000, all of your expenses are covered by your passive real estate, and guess who doesn't need to work anymore? You. Why did I quit my job at 26? It's because I had over $10,000 a month residually coming in. If 5 homes produce $2,500 a month, then we know that 10 homes at $500 a month will actually be enough to cover your expenses. So that's why you build a portfolio. This means that my money works for me. It's a higher ROI, it's a double-digit return, it pays me a cash flow, gives me tax benefits. So Steven, when someone partners with me, you might say, you know what, Kris, I want to ask you this question, Steven. There's always 2 types of people out there. There are always those that say, I want to do it on my own. I want to go to Home Depot. I want to be the repair guy. I want to be the landlord. I want to fix things up. I want to be the real estate investor. If you want to be the real estate investor, you don't have to partner with me. You can build a portfolio on your own. There are some people that say, you know what? I think it would be better for me to partner with Kris, who's an expert in this, skip the learning curve, and I'll have him do all of the work, but he'll share everything, he'll share half of everything with me. So that's actually the way it works. When we buy a home together, you generally put the money in, and then my team does the hundreds of hours of work to make the deal work, and we just split everything equally as 50-50 partners. Generally, if you partner with me, my deals are so much better than the ones you can find that even though you're giving up half, you end up actually further ahead than if you're on your own. Why? Because there's 320 markets. You watching this right now lives in one of those 320 markets. I will only invest in 3 of them. So I'm only in 1% of the whole nation. I'm only investing in very specific niches where I get like crazy ROIs. For example, my average ROI on a home exceeds 25% every year. Like, it's huge. So it's 20, like if we go and buy a home together, Stephen, you'll be earning half of 25% now, but in 5 years when we double the portfolio, guess what? Now that 25 becomes 50%. 5 years later, 50% becomes 100%. So this is a game where you're saying, all right, I can partner with Kris, and what I'm doing is I'm tapping into the best deals, the best markets, making superior money, and he does all the work. If you like that idea, usually to partner with me directly, takes, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. So Stephen, if you're curious about learning more about that, again, you just text me your cell phone, your email, and say, I want to learn about partnering with you, and I will get you in touch with one of my top coaches, and they'll take you through a vetting process to see if there's a match. And that goes for any of you. You just have to let me know I'm interested in partnering with you, Kris. If you have less than 50 grand, I have dozens of ways to show you how to do deals right now without partnering with me, and there are also ways of partnering with me that don't even take cash. So you need to get a custom game plan. I'm trying to get you the start of a game plan right now to know what you should be doing and focusing on. But if you want to get a truly customized game plan, any of you can drop your cell phone and your email and say, hey, I want a game plan. And tell me about your assets. Tell me what age group are you in. What if you set aside for your next deal? Be honest. If you're hey, Kris, I'm 10 grand in debt and I have 2 pennies to my name. Dude, tell me that. There's a game plan for you. If you tell me, hey, Kris, I got, $800. What would you do if you were me at this age? Then I'll share with you precisely what I would do through a custom game plan. So, Stephen, great question there, man. Appreciate it. All right, this one comes from Joe Pardo. What's up, Joe, man? Hey, Joe Pardo, how do you manage to have multiple homes once you get to that stage? Oh, that's a good question. Dude, when I bought my second house, my father-in-law was just totally confused. He's like, Kris, why on earth are you buying a second home? You guys live in one. Why do you need another? He didn't understand that I was doing this lease option strategy that was making me crazy amounts of money. It wasn't until I was buying my 4th home that he kind of asked about more serious. So when you say, so how are you managing these? Well, first of all, let's get really clear with each other. Do I want you to become a landlord? No, I do not want you to become a landlord. Why? That's work. And work is the harder way. You got to work smarter. So how do you do that? For those of you that don't know, when you're building a portfolio in your backyard, a lease option is where instead of saying, hey, who's transient and wants a 1-year contract to rent this place for $1,200 a month, a lease option is where you actually market it different and say, hey, I'm looking for a family that wants to buy this home. I'll be the bank. Your payment's going to be $1,500 a month, but some of your payment will actually go towards the purchase of that home. And we'll do a longer contract, 2 years, 3 years, and get in a position where you can buy it, and I'll give you a discount. You can buy this home with equity. You can get the benefits. Now you can live in this home and take care of it. Let me tell you why I like this. Not only do I make more money, but I'm also serving a niche in the community that says, I don't want to rent. I actually want to buy, but now's not the time. So I'm the perfect guy to help them. So they get a benefit, I get a benefit, but guess what also happens? It manages itself. This person says, this isn't a rental. I'm taking care of this. I'm investing up. I'm fixing this thing up, right? So it's a different game now. So that person, I found that I could manage 25 homes on my own before I said too much, I'm now going to outsource it to someone else to even manage because there's a lot less work on these. Does that make sense, Joe? I hope that connects with you. It's a really good question. Awesome. All right, guys, in a moment, I'm going to talk about what you should do when you're in your 50s and above. But first, I'm going to say Zaire or Zaire or, I'm sorry, Koiman. I think I got that one maybe. If I'm butchering it, dude, just please forgive me. But you're from Utah, so I'm just going to call you, maybe I should call you Czar. Like, you know, king, emperor, ruler. All right, hey Kris, 30 years old here. What's up, brother? Have been an international athlete my whole life with the option of only going to school and not able to work here in the States due to student visa. Spent 7 years in college, including my master's. So a late start for me, but I'm hungry. You already possess, I'm going to tell you, my friend, you already possess the most important quality, which is hunger. Married now, no savings, and credit is not good. Looking to buy a home at the end of our lease in November. Should we focus on the credit portion so that we can get qualified for a loan, or just save up our money instead of paying down credit cards? Looking to buy a home with a mother-in-law basement to rent out to start the same way you did. All right, Z. He's like, all right, let's go with Z. Z, we're good now. Z, this is a really good question. One of your questions is, Dave Ramsey would say, at all costs, no matter what, get out of debt first. And that might be good advice, but it might be bad advice. First of all, my question is, how are you doing at managing your debt? Do you have bad credit because you can't afford your debt? If that's true, then you should be focusing on paying off your debt. Like, if you're strapped every month and can't get ahead, then yeah, you need to have a plan to consolidate and lower your debt by actually paying it off. The second thing I would also recommend is that gals, listen to me right now. I'm telling you right now, one of the most important things that you should be doing financially is figuring out how to set aside financial reserves for investing. For example, let's say that you make $3,000 a month. I don't care if you make $30,000 a month. Your goal should be to save 20% of it, which means you got to stop living check to check, like 2/3 of all Americans. So for example, if it's $3,000 a month, 10% is $300, 20% is $600. You should be saving $600 a month if you're making $3,000 a month. Now you're saying, Kris, but I can't do that. I'm tapped, dude. Here's what you got to do. Just Google basic budgeting, like how to cut down on payments. There's like 50 free strategies on the internet of what you can do to actually, I'm going to cancel my Netflix. I get it that it sucks, but you know what? You probably need time to work a little bit harder too, right? So make some adjustments in your life. Like figure out how to be smarter with your money. And the reason why is because, listen, you're an athlete, you're a student, you're graduating with a master's, but here's what you got to understand. No matter what job you have, you're like this dude. You have legs, and to get anywhere, you got to use them, so you're a pedestrian. That means that you trade time for money. This is the worst financial trade of your life. You got to set 20 aside so that you can freaking put it in a race car. This is a horrible drawing of a sexy race car.
It's a van.
It looks more like a van or a DeLorean. Okay, but bottom line is this vehicle right here can go a lot faster than your stupid legs. So all this effort of trading time for money, please set that money aside. What can you do with it? If you can cover your debts just fine, then see what I want you to do is put that towards a home. And if your credit's not good, then my lease option program is a way for you to get yourself into a home through what's called seller financing. Seller financing means someone else has the home, they're renting it, and you say, I want to rent to own that baby. And I'll show you how to do that. You just gotta connect with me and tell me that you want to get with one of my coaches, and they'll break it all down for you, okay? So if, by the way, your debt is burying you, then save that 20% and pay that debt down. If it's not burying you, put it towards a sports car. If you were in LA and had to get to New York, would you walk to New York, or would you want the car, or would you want a Ferrari? So what I do is I teach you, like on today's online masterclass, I'm actually going to teach you how to earn 100% of your own money. Real estate is double digit. This is triple digit action, right? So I'm going to show you the fastest ways to get ahead in your life. So all of you should be registering for this, by the way. If you do not currently have a 6-figure side hustle business, you need to go to kriskrohn.com/masterclass and get yourself registered for it. So Z, dude, I hope that helps you. Dude, I'm happy to have someone from my team give you a free game plan on how to make sure that you can get that house come November. Good credit, bad credit, doesn't matter to me. All right, guys, here we go. Have tighter, okay, this is from Nolan. Nolan, we've been chatting a little bit, buddy. Good to connect with you again. Have tighter lending standards due to COVID-19 eliminated the opportunity to get real estate loans at 3.5% down? The answer is no, that has not happened. 3% down payments for a primary residence 100% still exist. Nolan says, I'm 35 years old. How do you buy more than 10 homes since banks don't lend for more than 10 rental properties? Oh, I like you, Nolan. That question is so genius. Will you hook him up with 2 tickets to my next event? Dude, you just won $3,000 in tickets to come to my next event, dude. I would like good smarts, good brain, good question. Let me kind of break this down for you. I'm working. By the way, how do I not trade time for money? Did you know on YouTube every month, 4 million minutes of my content is consumed? That is equivalent to 7 years. That's me standing in front of one person for 7 straight years, and yet I do it in only a handful of hours. That's called leverage. Everything I ever teach you will be about working smarter instead of harder. Leverage, just like I'm doing. You want leverage in business, right? If you own your own business, what's the point? It's not so that you can be like a stupid solopreneur that says, hey, this is like having a job. I make $47,000 a year by working for myself and actually have to work harder. I don't want that. I want you to get leverage. Leverage means that you can pile and pull people together and lead them on to victory by paying them to do the work, and you're getting paid for using this. Got it? All right. Nolan, 10 homes, how does it work? First of all, how do you qualify for one house? There's this thing called a debt-to-income ratio, DTR. Your debt-to-income ratio, basically the banks are going to say, we want to know that you make enough money that you can actually make your payment. Often banks don't want to see more than 40% of the money you make go towards a house payment. For many banks, that's their max. So if I make $4,000 a month, then 40% of that is going to be around $1,800. So they'll say, we're not going to approve you for more than an $1,800 total payment for this. But let's say that I buy this house. And let's say that I lease it out. Let's say that I bought it smarter than that. Let's say that my payment is $1,200 a month. But let's say that I rent it for $1,600 a month. This $1,600 is 25% more than that. The banks are generally going to count 70% of what you collect towards the house. In other words, this house brings up my debt-to-income ratio, but renting it out so far above its basic cost brings it back down. So if you qualify once, you can qualify again. If you buy right, like don't screw it up, don't max yourself up, don't max yourself out, don't forward and advance yourself the entire lifestyle you want today. Why? You've got to get smart, dude. You've got to make sure that you are saving 20% of what you're making. Now, by the way, if you're saying right now, Kris, I'm just going to tangent. Kris, I cannot save 20% of what I make. It's not possible. Then you better save 10%. And if you say, Kris, I can't save 10%, then I say, then go online and hunt down stupid, basic, free budgeting information and figure it out. Cancel some of your crap. Give some stuff back to the bank. Do something and save 10%. When you get good at saving 10, then you save 20. But if you're watching like, Kris, I save 30%. Like I've been really frugal and smart so I can invest. Then I want to challenge you to bump that to 40%. What would you have to do to get that to 40%? The bigger the number, the more you have to invest, the faster you become financially free. Does that make sense? All right. So now I'm going to answer Nolan's question, which is, dude, how do I qualify for more than 10? Nolan, you're 35 years old. Right now, I want to ask you a question. Do you have 10 homes? My guess is no. If right now you don't, then here's what I'm going to say. Don't worry about it. Now I know you're thinking, Kris, that's cheap. Like, give me the answer, bro. How do I qualify for more than 10? My goal for you is I dare you to get to 10. When you get to 10, I'll give you the answer. Now I'll give it to you right now. Nolan, this is what I want you to do. If you get even more than 4 homes, you have already surpassed a track record where most people will now give you their credit so you can keep doing it. In other words, this is the magic number. People know that if you've done it 4 times, that you must have figured out a way to work the system, and it must be good and it must be profitable. And if it is because you're doing it right, I'm going to promise you that then you can rent other people's credit and you can keep buying homes. Is that legal? Yes, it's not a gray area at all. There's a right way to do it, there's a wrong way to do it, there's an easy right way. You just bring it into the deal and say, I'm going to cut you in on a small part of the profits. You put up your credit. Now you're buying homes again. That's one of the, there's many ways of doing it. That's one way of doing it. Good question, Nolan. All right. Guys, we're going to be wrapping up pretty soon here. I hope you guys are enjoying the gold nuggets. By the way, if you're loving on what you're learning today, will you do me a favor? Go down in the comments and tell me the favorite thing that you're learning. What's the gold nugget that you're getting out of today's conversation? I'd like to go back and read the comments and just see where you're gaining value, because every week I go live on Thursday morning, and every week I'm here to bring topics that are based on your comments. So also, if you have questions, what would you like to see more of? Go ahead and comment, place that feedback. Do that right now. For the rest of you, I'm about to break this down, but this phone number, 352173477, you can save this phone number, and you're always welcome to text me and ask a question. I can't promise that I'll always be able to give you the swiftest response, but I do dedicate a certain amount of time in my life to basically texting with you, communicating, and here's what I'm hopeful of. Especially when you say, hey Kris, I just want my game plan now. I want to know, what can I do to be smarter? What can I do to get ahead? Those are my favorite questions because, dude, that's my purpose. That's why I do YouTube. That's what I do. That's why I do what I do, is I love to see you get on your way. By the way, I've never been so excited in my life about an online class. And we've got like 3 times as many people registered for this than normal. And the reason why we've got so many people coming out for this one is because what you need right now during COVID-19 is an active business. That's what brings me to here. What else should you be doing in your 18 to 30s, 40s, and 50s? Friends, you have got to have a business. Now you might say, Kris, I've never wanted to own a business. I like working for somebody else. Then I'm going to say, then hopefully you're getting paid a shiz load of money, and you're really good at saving it and investing it. And if you do that, you totally have a chance of financial freedom. But business is an accelerator. And it's because you can get a triple-digit ROI. Now, by the way, what is a triple-digit ROI? It means that you're making more than 100% on your money. So in real estate, I get a 25% ROI. Now imagine, now just compare these to each other. 100 is 4 times bigger than 25. That means that my money in business can grow faster, but this is what I'm really shooting for, 300 to 500%. Which means if I put 50 grand into my business, or let's just say I put 10 grand in my business, then my goal is to take that 10 grand and turn it into 30 grand, or turn it into 50 grand. On today's webinar, I'm actually going to show you how to take a very small amount of money and actually turn it into $100,000 based on what we've been testing is working in the coronavirus right now. So by the way, having a business, this is what I call your active income. And it is all about more money now. Real estate, this is your passive income. And it is awesome money, but you're going to see the biggest benefit in the future. So this is where you go for money today, and this is where you go for money tomorrow. You do need both. So today's live training is going to cover that. Hopefully I'm going to see you there. All right, by the way, if any of you are totally interested in like, all right, Kris, what is this business? Like, how can I get in a business that will make me $100,000 a year on the side with less than 2 hours of work? If that intrigues you, then the moment you're done watching this masterclass, hop on my cell phone and just text me. Just like, let's connect on it, and let's help you basically find your way through this and figure out how to get that going like my buddies. All right, 50s to 65. If you are in your 50s and you're like, Kris, I don't own real estate yet, you are likely looking at your assets and having what I call an oh crap moment. I'm not talking about what happens on the can. I'm actually saying that you're looking at your 401ks, IRAs, and you're saying, I've accumulated 50 grand, 200 grand, 500 grand, and guess what? It's not enough to retire. How do I know? Dude, let's just say that you have $400,000. You're way above average. You're killing it. You're doing so much better than most people. But if you enjoy living on $80,000 a year, then how long will 400 grand last you? 5 years. So when you retire, you have to you get to live nice for 5 years, and then you have to die or go back to work. Dude, it sucks. And also you're leaving a legacy. So right now, if you don't have over $1 million, and you're in the 50 to 65 range, you've got to be taking all of those 401ks, IRAs, and home equity, and you've got to convert it into cash flow producing assets that grow minimum with a double digit and you also got to tap into triple-digit ROI. This is my secret, by the way. Why did I retire at 26? I started working again because I was like bored out of my mind, but I was financially free. My passive income exceeded my expenses. Why did I do that in such a short period of time? I was tapping into double-digit ROI and triple-digit ROI. I was also tapping into infinite ROI. That means I was putting no money in and I was making gobs of money back. And this is how I make most of my money today, which means you can amass lifetimes of wealth if you get to this level. So right now you got to be getting, your goal is to move from single-digit crap to double-digit and to triple-digit. That means active income through a side hustle and passive results through real estate investing. My two favorites, please, right? If you are 65 plus, and let's see if we have any additional questions. If you guys have questions on any of these levels, now's a good time to ask them, and I'm going to answer those for you. If you're 65 plus, you're really doing the exact same thing, but you're now going to focus on a cash flow model. You're going to want to maximize cash flow in your investments because you're done working. You don't want to work anymore. So right now, you don't have time to grow your investments as much as cash flow them. I always deal in two types of investments. What gives me a smaller return but will grow the fastest in the long run, and what will grow slower but gives me the most money up front. The older you get, you need to maximize cash flow. The younger you are, you focus on growth. So in real estate, I've got growth markets and I've got cash flow markets. All right, my friends, that is how you invest in every stage of your life. I totally get that some of you need a more custom opportunity. We're going to end with a final question today. Hopefully I'll see you on the webinar. But for, so we'll see who's going to get that final question.
18-year-old.
We got an 18-year-old. What's up? Rocco. Dude, you got a sweet name. That's like a pimp bulldog kind of name right there. Rocco Rosati. Spicy meatball, my friend from Italia. All right. Rocco, what's up, dude? Quick question for you for your current life. Should 13 to 18-year-olds invest their money in stocks, or should they go to college? This is an interesting question. Would it be good to buy a home outside the state you live in? Last question. Rocco is ambitious here. Is there a limit to how much money can be made from real estate investing? Thanks for doing this, Kris. All right. Oh, I've been texting you a lot this past week. I'm sorry for annoying you, sir. Thank you for everything you do. I'm glad you're feeling better. Dude, you're okay, Rocco. You're all good, dude. So right now for Rocco, let me just answer a couple of these questions. The first one is, when you're like, do I go to the stock market, or should I put money in the stock market, or should I go to college? I don't really think you should ask that question. I think those are two totally separate issues. What you really should be asking is, how should I invest my money right now? If you're 13 to 18-year-old, it is more important to be earning money than investing money, but if you were to invest it, I would be saving up for once you're 18 plus to get your first home, as well as don't be afraid to put a few $1,000s into a side hustle. In other words, put your money into making more money at that young age. As far as should you go to college, right now, what do you want to be when you grow up? If you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or an architect, you got to go to college, man. Those things require degrees. You're not going to get anywhere, right? If you're not really sure, you're like most people are like, I don't know, I'm just getting a degree because everyone says I should have one, then I would think twice. And what I would do is I would flex your entrepreneurial skills, I would flex your real estate skills, and go to college if you can find an ROI. If going to college will make you more money, then that's an investment. Do that, right? As far as your last question, what was Rocco's last question? Rocco, I answered a lot of your questions. That was good, bro. Friends, do we have any last questions? These are we good for right now? All right, guys, listen up. If we didn't get to you today, or if you asked a question that was just different than what we talked about here, my promise to you is that I will do my best by end of day to get in touch with you. For those of you, save my phone number, and you can text me anytime. Let me help with the questions. Let me lead you down a path to get a game plan. That is something I love doing. And then join me today at noon, guys. I'm going live, and I've got about 70 minutes of hardcore teach on how in COVID you can set yourself up with a 2-hour-a-day side hustle that can make you 6 figures. If you want to learn more about that, please come and attend. Hopefully you enjoyed today's training. Drop some comments below. What would you guys like to learn about next? This is every week school in session for your benefit, and I'm happy to give it. So guys, thank you so much for watching today. And with that, we will catch you on tomorrow's video, the later today live training, or next Thursday's live. See you guys later. Peace out.